Happy Friday, boys and girls. My name is Jeffery. Jeffery at Jeffery TV coming to you live on Memorex, default route, default location on this glorious Friday. As I was walking, I was thinking again on the subject of me doing these walks, making these podcasts, and basically only talking about me. And when I kind of deduced or kind of teased out an angle, maybe be that I'm not really talking about Jeffery, myself. I'm talking about my experiences and how I relate, interpret, and navigate the world and things around me, giving my perspective of my interactions and dealing with and handling and experience, just applying my opinion and my subjective thoughts and determinations and realizations and all that on what I experience and see. I think that might be more of what I would like to be portrayed as doing, or I think that's what I'm doing, because I really don't, I say I don't love me. I love being me. I don't love Jeffery. I really don't understand that concept. In fact, let's explore that. What does loving Jeffery mean? That would mean that I love what I am in a almost simplistic sense, remedial. I love, okay, say what I am is my cognitive, how smart I am or whatever, my intellect, my physical capabilities or abilities, be them limited or not, the degree of what they are, it's more about the experience to me. It really is more about the experience. Being Jeffery and experiencing life. That to me is the ultimate. That is the ultimate. Being me, being what I've evolved to be, the position I'm in, et cetera, the things around me, the people around me, my apartment, Youngstown, my hometown, family, friends, acquaintances, co-workers, my car, my computers, my bed, my bedroom, my kitchen, the food in my everything, the tires on my car, everything. That is really what I'm into, if I could put it that way. That is what I'm into. The experience of being Jeffery and what encompasses being Jeffery. Because all of us are unique. All of us have our own perspective, blah, 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 blah. All of us have our own experience to evolve to be what we are. I'm listening to a book by Brian Greene, and he reemphasizes over and over that everything is made out of the same stuff. Everything you see, everything in the universe is made out of the same basic particles. And the part I'm on now is he's explaining going from inanimate matter to life. And nobody knows the answer of how that happened. Nobody knows. But he keeps reemphasizing that the same thing a rock is made out of, we are made out of. But we have consciousness. And they can't explain that. They don't know how that happens or why that happens or this or that. He posed a few explanations that people have put forth in the past. One of which, if I can roughly paraphrase, is that when we see red or green, we see something. Say he used a Ferrari. Say we see a red Ferrari. When we see a red Ferrari, we see some things, we experience some things, we kind of, our senses go through our brain and we conceptualize and we understand that red Ferrari from what we see. I'm putting that real simplistic. We don't think about all that happens to make that happen. Our body isn't aware or it kind of keeps that, we don't think about the fact that the light hit our eye and the retina and the signal was transmitted to this and it went through that and did this and went to synapses. We're not aware of that. So it's like we're separate from our bodies. The actual mechanism that helps us perceive that and feel that, quote unquote, feel that red Ferrari. We're not aware of maybe the hormones or dopamines or the secretions of stimulants or whatever, the eyes, our reaction. We're not aware of that, we just feel it. So it may give us a sense of independence. This may give us a sense that our mind is separate from our body. And then from there, you can tease out a sense that we are independent, that consciousness is independent to a degree, and that it exists, and then you go from there to a soul, and et cetera, et cetera. We just get a sense of a self-awareness, where we feel like we're independent, and we feel like our consciousness is not isolated, but separate and distinct from things. And I say things because I'm not sure if they even know what those things are, or if I'm not sure if I remember what they are. Because the brain, you got your brain, then you got your mind. The brain is the physical part, the actual stuff inside your head that actually performs the tasks and stuff that create your mind, that allow your mind to operate. But it's different. The brain and mind could be the same thing, and it's just that we have two words to describe two different things. But either way, that's what I'm listening to now. So it could be that it's my consciousness that I'm really in love with. Let me think about that. In love with my consciousness? I don't want to say no, that's wrong immediately. I don't mind the word in love, because it's definitely a relationship I got going on. I almost said with myself. Or should I say relationship I got going on by myself? That's better, that sounds better. Am I in love with my consciousness? Am I in love with consciousness? My consciousness or consciousness spirit? Consciousness is the highest thing in the universe that we know of right now. There's nothing higher. And from that, I believe there's nothing higher than a conscious being becoming that which it desires to be. I think it could be that our responsibility or our task is to fulfill that which we desire, which is unique to every individual entity, conscious entity. No two are gonna be the same. And it may be, I definitely believe it benefits life to have a diversity of ideas and angles the way we look at life. Because me and my sister, we grew up together, blah, 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 totally different people. And I think that's one of the beauties and not weapons, I don't use the word weapon, but one of the ways life uses to survive, that you get so many different ideas and angles about this, that you're not putting all your eggs in one basket. Because if we were all the same, and we all went down the same road, something happened, life is over. And by going down the same road, I mean, if we all lived the same philosophy, we all ate the same food, say like we determined, this is the best for us, this is the way it's supposed to go. That's why I think a utopian society has a lot to be desired, especially they show those futuristic societies where computers and whatever, we figure out what the best of the best is. We figure out the best foods to eat, the best this, and everybody just goes for that with minimal deviation. When you got most of the population eating the same thing, it makes it a lot easier for life to hit a bump and affect billions of people if we're all doing it the same way. We're all doing anything the same way. So I believe in that diversity. And then with consciousness, I've seen the way people handle things vary so drastically in people, just so completely drastically in people. And I think it's beautiful. First, I didn't. First, I wasn't appreciative of it. And I think that again, I said before, may have been because I wasn't fulfilled or satisfied with what I wanted and what I desired. I hadn't gotten, there were still things I really, really, really wanted to do. So it was basically hard for me to be happy for other people. Now, it wasn't like I was hating on them, but I definitely was competitive. You know, that's the way I like to look at things. Oh, you been to Europe? Oh, you been to Moscow? Oh, you been there? You did this? Oh, okay. And I hadn't done it yet. So there was some kind of feelings there. But now, being the person I am, the things I've achieved in life, I don't want to use the word content, and I don't want to use fulfilled because it sounds like, the end of something. It sounds like at the end or like a finish. But I got mine, and I'm happy, and it very well could be respect. It very well could be I get the respect I think I deserve. It could be that. It definitely could be that. It's definitely that I've been heard. I feel like I've been heard. I've contributed to things that I passion. I believe I've had a definite impact on, maybe even a significant impact. And whether I'm recognized or not, may or may not be the most significant, but it's definitely a part of it. It is definitely a part of the recognition. The external recognition, at least enough to see. Because there's, I don't know if it's ego, what do you call it, ego? But my accomplishments, just the respect I get, and the respect I get comes in many forms, down to the way strangers treat me when I walk in a room, maybe because of my age or my stature. And I think that stature and the way I walk and the way I move, that body language comes from integrity. That comes from inside of me. It's real. It's not like I'm faking it. And many a time I will walk in a room demanding something without even saying a word. Just by body language. And I believe I know how to do that. Just the look on my face, the way I carry myself, whether I smile or not, eye contact, the movement. I think all that comes from a deep down integrity and belief in myself. I just have that's a good one. I have a very deep belief in myself and understanding. I have understanding of the way things work and a deep belief in myself. Because yesterday, I guess, the other day, Hulk Hogan died. And everybody said, no, he was a racist, he was a racist. And they showed a couple clips of him saying stuff. You know, he even said he was a racist and he didn't want his daughter with a nigger. And if she was gonna be a nigger, get 8 foot tall, but at least could make some money. Blah, blah, blah. You know, I hear that. And it doesn't bother me at all. It doesn't bother me at all. I know who I am. I know what I am. I've seen what I'm capable of. I know there's gonna be people like him out there. And in fact, I respect him for coming out and talking and saying that. I'm not threatened by him at all. Not at all. And I almost, in ways, think that there should be more of that, more people willing to speak up and speak out and speak their mind. In fact, that's my whole thing behind this. Integrity and say what you feel. That's one of the biggest things that this whole me talking and all this started. For me to be able to say what the hell I want to say and how I want to say it, regardless of the ramifications or regardless, I don't want to say the consequences, but you know, regardless of who it may or may not offend. Because I remember back in 1997, 98, when the internet came out, and I was like, what? I'll be able to have web pages and say whatever I want, and nobody could censor them? Because AOL and Prodigy, the bulletin boards and stuff that I was posting to, which was the social media back then, was censored. And that bugged me. Of course, you know, I figured out ways around it with the wording, et cetera, et cetera. But I was like, what? So for me, that having that ability to say what you want, how you want, when you want, and the freedom of speech, whether it's contrary or not, I believe in. But then again, if, like many people will say, yeah, he had the right to say it, and he did, and he suffered the consequences from it. Consequences could have been he was canceled, or, you know, even if it's your employer firing you, or this or that, lose contracts, lose this, lose that. You know, that part, I don't want to say agree with. I know that's part of it. That's part of the consequences. You got to suffer the consequences. You say what you want, suffer the consequences. Because there really are no rules. There really are no rules. In the deep, deep, deep sense of everything, everything is what it is and not what it ought to be. So I was like, I almost got excited hearing he was saying, he said, I don't want my daughter to marry no fucking nigger. Da, 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 da. He said, I'm a racist. Now, whether he was joking or not, doesn't matter. And they say there's other leaked notes and stuff he said, but I don't care. I don't care. Be you. I know who I am. You be you. And not only that, I don't feel threatened that the exposure of this kind of behavior is going to start a race war, or that I guess I could say that I don't believe that, I believe maybe that if you let every racist come out and do what they want to do, blah, blah, it's still a very small percentage of the population. Even in America, where it's 80% white people, 70% white people. Like, again, the white people I know love black people more than I do. Are so into diversity, but I'm in California, so go back to Ohio, it's a little bit, but people are a little tougher. I think they're more, when I go back to Ohio, it's more, just leave me alone, just leave us alone, we don't care. You know, they're tired of the whining. To me, I mean, this is just my perception, or maybe even my projection on them. You know, they're just tired of the whining. You know, I'm sure there's some of them that look at the black culture and say, that's not conducive to success. I don't want that around me. And I do the same damn thing. I admit I'm a racist. I got no problem with being a racist. That's why I got, and see, I can say that. Okay, I was just thinking, I'm a racist. I was thinking, what if my job was to hear this? And what would they say or do? And I was gonna kind of clarify that. It just went through my head really quick and say, I'm a racist. Say my job or my boss or somebody heard that, and they had to report me to HR. And I was thinking, and I was gonna go ahead and go to the next step, that I'm a racist, but I'm not breaking any law. I don't break any laws. I think you can be whatever you want, as long as you just don't break no laws. Don't put your hands on me. Don't touch me. There's laws about collusion. There's laws about discrimination. All the laws are in place. You can think and feel how you want. You can hate niggas, hate white folks, hate Mexicans, but as long as you don't break the law, you good. But basically, you know, along those lines. Because there's already there's a lot already written in our, I don't want to say laws, or there's like a lot of guidelines, rules, ideas of the way we should act, the way we should behave, baked in, and we kind of know what they are, and between religion and this and that, we kind of know what society expects from us. So how I feel or my politics shouldn't matter as long as I don't break the law. And when I say I'm a racist, do I feel certain races are better than others? Yep. At certain things, for sure. There's no doubt about that. You can look up and see that easily. There's certain things, certain races are better than others. Or you can break it down to culture. Man, it's not race, it's culture. Blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm talking about. Is that being a racist? Or is it, because it was also saying that black people can't be racist. Because to be racist, you have to be to oppress another group of people. I don't believe that. I believe black people's racist as anybody. Black people might be the most racist. Oh my God. And they may have a quote unquote reason to be after how they were treated, or basically how they were treated and how it's been perpetuated and spread and kept alive, quote unquote. Not to kill history, not to try to erase history, but it's one thing to keep it in the historical narrative of our country, slavery. It's another thing to glorify or horrify it, to use it. And I think it's definitely been used, it's the race baiters or something. Race and all that has definitely been used to generate income for people. Some people are in that industry, that's what they do. Some people, you know, that's how they make their money, that's how they make their livelihood based on race. So they would definitely want it to continue. So if it was all cleaned up and fixed up, they wouldn't have a job. So they kind of wanted to continue and do that. They don't want to put themselves out of business. They want to keep that income coming. Now, there were atrocities committed. Slavery had existed for thousands of years. I thought it was the United States that ended slavery, but more and more I'm reading about it, it was Britain who ended slavery for all time. Slavery been going on for thousands of years, and it's still going on in some countries. And it was Africans selling Africans. Now, what white people did may have taken it to a whole different level, but that's what they do with everything. For whatever reason, that's why Western civilization is what it is. What I believe to be the greatest civilization and platform ever created by human beings, with democracy and capitalism being at the top of that, being at the forefront of that. Yeah, you had to break a few eggs to make this omelet. There was definitely some atrocities, some people wiped out, a lot of people gave their lives, a lot of things were stolen. But this wasn't nothing that wasn't happening all throughout human history. Does that make it right because it was happening all throughout human history? There is no wrong or right, remember? There is no wrong or right, good or bad. There just is. Does might make right? I don't know. I just know that I'm walking around this country, whereas a few hundred years ago, the people who were indigenous to this country ain't here no more. That's what it is. That's the way it is. How it happened, why it happened, was it fair, was it not fair? There is no fair. It just is. You know, you gotta do whatever you gotta do. At the end of the game, it's gonna come down to who wins and who doesn't. How you got there may or may not matter. And There's people out here who want the white man to pay for his atrocities. And again, I would never tell anybody not to do anything, because we need that diversity. We need the snowflakes and the snowflakes and the hippies and the liberals and the socialists and the Marxists and the communists. And the conservatives and the liberal. We need them all. We need them all to be vocal and to present their point. I would never tell anybody to stop believing in what they believe in. Stop preaching what you're preaching. I wouldn't do that. Now I'm going to argue against it. I'm going to present logic against it. I'm not going to agree, and I'm definitely not going. I'm not going to understand. I may or may not understand it, and if I don't, I'll question it. I'll criticize it. I may even go street or whatever. Just be politically incorrect and not derogative, but dismissive of it and abusive of it. But I would never tell you not to do it. Never stop telling you what to believe. So stop believing, stop doing what you're doing. Because one of the key things, again, like at the beginning of all this, is a diversity. Diversity of thought and diversity of action. Diversity of capability among human beings. Because who knows? Maybe those people living in the Appalachian Mountains the way they do, no electricity, this or that, limited water, this resources. We don't know. Maybe those are the ones that's gonna survive. Something go down, so like electricity or internet or something, could the catastrophic go out? I'm done. I don't know how to kill no food. If I can't go to the grocery store and get my food, I'm done. And that's where the government would have to come in, or somebody to feed me. I don't know how to feed myself. If you really stop and think about it, I don't know how to feed myself. I know how to go to Rouse. I ordered Instacart yesterday. Had a salad. Ordered Instacart. Got a salad. Woke up at 201.6 this morning, which is good, fairly good. So when I get back, I'll be under 200 today. And if I act right tonight, and I kind of acted right yesterday, but I got up in the middle of the night, had 8 Fig Newtons and 8 marshmallows. I got 4, and I went back, got 4 more. It's like 2:30 in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm in the bed eating Fig Newtons and marshmallows. And it was so good. No, actually it wasn't so good, but it was good. It wasn't like eye rolling in the back of my head good, but it was good. It was good. And I knew I had enough time. I ain't gonna get up till 9. So I still got 6 hours of sleep. Might be getting too much sleep anyway. But what happens is, as soon as I get off work, smoke some Black & Milds, my metabolism goes, or my energy, or whatever, my vibrations goes, I don't feel like doing nothing. End up in the bed 9:30, 10 o'clock. And that just might be too early. But, and another thing too, I was thinking, I get up here, and even though I'm talking about me, I can talk for an hour every day. You see this? And I don't think, I'm going over a lot of the same stuff over and over, but I'm thinking in my mind, I'm presenting it in a more evolved, different way. I'm adding something to it or subtracting something from it. I'm refining the idea the more I say it. And there's some ideas that pop in my head, and I'm inclined to go over them again and say them again. Sometimes I keep being drawn to the same, I don't want to say narrative. I keep drawn to the same topics and same ideas. And I'll go over them again, and I'll remember what I said before, and I'll add something to it that I thought of, since then, et cetera, et cetera. But I can get this thing on, talk for an hour. every day about me and my experience, my consciousness, my experience of my consciousness. And I believe everybody should. Everybody should have their own TV. Everybody should have their own TV. Get out there, talk about it. Just say what you feel, say what you think. That's what the heck this is all for. You don't even gotta talk about anything else. Another thing, you ain't gotta worry about it. I ain't worried about if it's popular or not. I ain't worried about if it's popular or not. Though I do check to see how many views I get on this and that. And I don't try to strategize. Ooh, even though I know I can talk about certain subjects and get more hits. Sometimes I don't feel like talking about them subjects. Don't talk about me. And it seems like that's what I've been doing for the last, hell, it's been how long has it been now? Maybe the last 6-7 months or so. All I've been talking about is me. And I'm good with it. I'm good with it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Well, that's not all I'm saying. It's never all I'm saying. There's always more to it. There's always more to it. And that's the beauty of this whole thing. I got this set up. I evolved the technology to get a decent product, to get it at least to where I approve of it, or I like it. I think it meets a certain standard. And I get out here and do this every day, comfortably. And I'm building something. I'm building something. I'm compiling something. All this stuff is going into something. There's definite intention. I definitely have an intention. I don't know what that intention is going to turn out to be, but there's something in me that makes me just want to do this. Like you see those TV shows about kids or whatever. A kid some of them just want to do a certain thing. They just, ever since they was little, he always wanted to be in the dinosaurs. Maybe like my grandson number 1. In the dinosaurs and the bugs and stuff like that. That's his thing. And we'll look back, and that's something in him somehow. He got that in him. Like when I got my first crystal radio, electronics got into me. I was like, oh, who knows how that happened or why that happened? What was it about that situation or this or that? I went, whoa. Or when I first heard Mothership Connection, whoa. What was that? Whoa. I gotta find out what that is. I gotta find out what that is. I remember too. I got that 8-track. I took it home. I listened to every word, the philosophy, how it was laid out, how it was constructed, what it was about. There was definitely a criteria or a level or a standard or a bar that I set, that I hope that this music or the idea of it would live up to, quote unquote, live up to, or be, or that it agree with me, I agree with it. The philosophy. Of P-Funk. So who knows, Who knows what that one little thing is for us, for each of us, that thing that we love. Some people love crocheting. Some people love fish. Some people love fishing. Some people love hunting. Some people love swimming. individual ideas, individual disposition, individual desires. We all have our own perspective, unique perspective. And I've always believed, well, I ain't gonna say always, because there was times where I thought certain people or certain aspects of our community were not worthy of being noted. There's no doubt about that. There was a time where I actually thought or kind of believed that certain portions of our society and population could be eliminated for the betterment of the population. That is still true. That is definitely true. We don't know what that is. We could probably never determine what that is. But the idea that certain parts of the population could be eliminated and it would better the overall population is true. We just don't know. There's probably no way of knowing which part that is. But somewhere, somehow, there's a, and we don't know what it is, we can never know, possibly. But there's an equation that adds up to society benefiting from us eliminating some of us. And, you know, I think that we should be able to say things like that. We have to acknowledge, not only acknowledge, we have to accept stuff like that. You know, all the liberals or whatever, I like to call them liberals, save the world, everybody deserves the right, you know, save this, you know, don't even talk like that. No. I said something so abstract, almost, that to deny it, I just try to make up something so abstract that because it's not aesthetically pleasing as an idea, doesn't mean it's not true or reality. And it may or may not, should not be dismissed. It has to be at least looked at, you know? It has to be at least acknowledged as a possibility or an idea. Just because it may hurt somebody, oh no. Just because if it hurts one person, I don't want it. Don't even talk about it. If it hurts one person, no. There are scenarios where we might need to get rid of some of us to benefit us. Like I said, a lot of people don't want to hear that, but it has to be at least acknowledged. You can go against it. To me, you don't have to do nothing. But the idea is put so abstractly that you can't deny it. To deny it is denying reality. You could be against it totally. You can, hate it, never accept it, rail against it. But to deny its validity, because it's something you don't believe or something you're against, is something else. Validity as far as a hypothesis or a statement, to just destroy it and try to wipe it out, to try to eliminate it, that's where I have a problem. It's almost like a censorship, but in a very, very deeper way. It's like a mental, psychological censorship, in which we eliminate certain kinds of feelings and thought because we don't agree with it. Even though we don't agree with it, I think we still got to talk about it. Still got to be on the table. Well, talk about it may be a strong way to put it, but it needs to be out there. It has to be a part of what's going on. And that's probably gonna take me back to Hulk Hogan and being a racist. Who knows? Maybe racists are right. Maybe all this mixed breeding is gonna come back to bite us. I don't know. I think the diversity, I personally feel that the diversity is a benefit, and not just because mixed people are more attractive. The less diverse a lineage is, the less attractive they are, literally. And that I think has something to do with something. You know, because what happens is they say the features get overemphasized because they keep getting bred into each other. Like certain size nose, certain size eyes, certain size ears, or whatever. It just keeps being reinforced and reinforced and reinforced till it's so pronounced that it becomes unattractive. Whereas somebody who's mixed, the features are kind of mixed up and spread out and changed a little bit, or something like that. Like I'm just thinking facial features right now. You know, you see somebody's mixed, you know, you mix a black person, white person, they may not have that big wide African nose or that super pointed Nordic nose. They have a combination. And that combination, to me, could or would be more attractive than something that's been bred and overly pronounced because of breeding, limited breeding pool. And I guess certain, I don't know, not diseases or something, evolutions, like, I don't know, if you just keep, it just seems like mixing the races produces a better human being, for the lack of a better word, whatever better means. More capable, more anatomically, I don't want to say superior, but better makeup. As far as this, and just not being more aesthetically pleasing to the look. Because you see some of them people in Europe, you know, the gene pool ain't been that mixed up. You see some white people, they so Caucasian, they ain't even white. They before white, that's what I tell people. I was like, you ain't white, you before white. This is before black and white, what you're dealing with. You just look at them, see their skin, you know, the way they look and the eyes and all. I'm like, this is before black and white. You like Caucasian, your people, you ain't even white yet. You still Caucasian. Because one of my ideas was you're not white or black until you come into an environment where it is white and black. A situation where it is white and black. And Egyptians ain't black. I went to Egypt, I seen them. They ain't black. At least they ain't now. And in 5,000 whatever years since the pyramids, they ain't gonna evolve that much away from what they was. That's all I'm saying. I don't know why I threw that in there, but it's real. So now I'm like looking to always do an hour on this. Now I want to do an hour each podcast. It's like I want to maintain that 1 hour. Yesterday I think I went hour 17. Talking about stuff. Just, how could somebody cut the camera on every day and talk about themselves and stuff for an hour by themselves, continuously walking and enjoying it so goddamn much. I love it. I'm building something. Me, Jeffery TV. I love looking at it. I love working on it. That's what I need to do this weekend. That's what I need to do this weekend, work on my stuff. Work on my music, work on my websites. I haven't worked on it in a while. And since I don't do it at work now, you know, that's what I need to do. I need to put the black miles down. Then when I get off work at 8 o'clock, work on music and my websites for a few hours, then go to bed. That's what I need to do. So doing the black miles, that is really what I need. I want to do that so bad. That would be, oh. And then that'll bring my energy up. Weekends, recording sessions, music. Oh, I'm just saying. But I'm getting myself together. I'm already together. I'm always continue to improve, quote unquote improve, whatever improve me. Improve is relative. Improve can be used in this case because I've set an idea of where I want to go. So there is a good, a bad, up or down in this case because I have self-identified a place I want to get to. It's like you want to get to point A. There's a logical and scientific way, best way to get to point A. And anything that's not the logical or the best way to get to point A is bad. Anything that's the logical or best way to get to point A is good. And just go from there. Should I start tonight? I'm out of black and miles. I'm down to 1. I need to go get some more. And I'm coming up to the turn where I would turn and go get them. And I can wait till after work. They have to give me something to do. Get me out the house. Instead of, just run into it. It's the weekend, I got 2 days. Oh, look what they did. They put more up there. You see them? I know I'm on low resolution. You can't see it. So they clean all this stuff up. They're gonna come down there and clean it up. Every now and then, they do a sweep. You get all those people out here. The police will come and watch the people clean it up, protect them or whatever. You're chasing folks out. Telling them, you can't be here, man. Come on now. So, Jeffery Scott Mitchell. There is none greater. Let me think about that statement. Jeffery Scott Mitchell. There is nothing greater than Jeffery Scott Mitchell. Subjectively speaking, from my point of view, that's true. Universally, definitely not true. Not even close. Should I believe that? Is it beneficial to me to believe that? I think so. Within reason. When I wake up in the morning, I don't place myself second to anything. Is that gonna benefit me? I think so. If it's not overdone. If anything overdone, any thinking, either way, if you do too much of it or take it too far, it's not gonna be a benefit. So, I do believe that. There's nothing greater than Jeffery Scott Mitchell. In my mind, in my life, in my world. In my mind, in my life, in my world. It's me. And it should be you and yours. In my thinking. Again, in my thinking. But we need diversity. We need all different kinds of thinking. We need those who are benevolent, those who sacrifice, those who actually get off on helping people. Can you imagine that? There's some people who get off on helping other people. They are naturally inclined to feel better helping other people. What the hell is that about? I mean, when I help someone, I do feel good, but it's not an overwhelming feeling. It's not like, ooh, I want to do this for the rest of my life. This is what I want to be. This is what I want to do. What do I want to be? What do I want to do? I want to create. I want to create and evolve thought. That's what I want to do. I want to create, evolve thought, develop ideas, develop philosophies, document, lay down a, not blueprint or template, definitely not a template, but lay down an idea, a philosophical idea at the highest level, quote unquote highest, whatever highest means. I'm about those of us who are capable, ultra capable, or whatever. I'm concerned about that part of humanity. Not so much about saving the disenfranchised and left behind. And there was one philosopher in this story of philosophy that I'm listening to that say, why are we wasting time? Why are we wasting time on the lower end of life, of humanity? Somebody should be developing where we're gonna go. The highest levels. What's the next highest? I keep thinking highest, but what's the next achievement or step or process to develop us, our more capable, our strongest, our smartest intellectuals? You know, who's doing that? Everything is all about saving the weak and downtrodden and the at risk. You need to have a society or something that promotes the other end, the high end, where we're going, the cutting edge of thought and ideas. That's where I'm at. You know, that's where I'm at. I want to be there. And as far as other philosophers goes, where do I place myself? How do I think of myself with the Descartes and the Spinozas, Schopenhauer's, Hegel, Kant, Ayn Rand? Got the horror in there. Where do I place myself? I believe, I don't feel that, I mean, they're definitely smarter than me because they have experience they put in the work. I believe they probably outworked me. I believe that I'm just as capable as any of those people. You know, there's always gonna be one or two that, you know, it's gonna outdo you no matter what. This is gonna be one or two. But in general, I'll look straight across eye to eye to anybody. But you know what? I wanted to get this. I wanted to take this. Look at that. That's a Jeep light. Ooh, I want to take it home. I just might take this home. Look at that. It's a black one too. I think I might. I ain't got no sense, do I? Where I'm gonna put it though is broken right there. Look at that. It's beautiful, ain't it? I think it's beautiful. Take it home, wash it up. I want to take it home. I'm just gonna take a picture. I ain't gonna take it home. I might come get it. I might drive up here and come get it. Yeah. I love my Jeep. I love that car. It's the car I wanted. That's my dream, quote unquote, dream car. Anyway, That's an hour. Hour and 1 second. Swinging on y'all 2 times. For me. No, I just realized I say that. Swinging on y'all 2 times. First and foremost, for me. And the funk. And for every elementary, and the swinging on y'all. For me, for every elementary particle that has ever existed in any atom, in this or in any universe that ever was, is, or will be. The totality of it all. Theory of universe. Hypothesis of all as one. My name is Jeffrey Scott Mitchell.